Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I am Ruchika Chatravanshi. It is 12th of October 2023 and here are the questions we will be answering today. Will state polls find the winning formula for Lok Sabha elections? What next for India's Asian Games medal winners? How long will retail investors' love for IPO last? And who are neutral athletes? Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, and Mizoram are heading to polls in November, and we will know the outcome on 3rd of December. BJP has claimed that it will sweep all 5 states. Congress, on its part, claimed that these polls would be the swan song for BJP. So, what are the key challenges BJP is facing, and will these state polls reveal the winning formula for general elections, which are just months away? Ayush Mishra speaks to political pundits for answers.
Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, flanked by the two other election commissioners, announced the schedule for polls in 5 states on 9th October. With it, poll code has come into force in Chhattisgarh, Mizoram, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Telangana. Of the 5 poll-bound states, BJP is in power in one state, that is Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh are being helmed by Congress. In Telangana, Bharat Rashtriya Samiti will be fighting to get re-elected. While in Mizoram, Mizo National Front or MNF is in power. These 5 states account for roughly 15% of the country's population. But even before the Model Code of Conduct came into force, BJP and Congress tried to outrun each other in announcing freebies. In MP, Congress has promised 1,500 rupees per month to every woman, 100 units of free electricity, farm loan waiver, and the non-contributory old pension scheme. While BJP has announced 1,250 rupees per month to 12.5 million women, which would be increased to 3,000 rupees in due course. Both the parties have also promised another round of subsidies on LPG cylinders. For the BJP, which is in power at the centre and is banking on the yet another spell of brand Modi magic, a good show will set the mood for upcoming general elections. But will it work? Will Modi be able to woo voters in states where local issues matter more? What challenges will the Saffron Party face on local turf?
Let's go back a little bit and look at the role of Narendra Modi and the opposition in the, say, Himachal Pradesh election, which was the last round of elections that took place in India, state elections. In Himachal Pradesh, the Congress was very clear and said that we have no grievance. We are not using Narendra Modi as the target. Our target is the local state government headed by the BJP. So the idea was that there is no problem with Narendra Modi. He is the Prime Minister of India, and we give due respect to him. But people are not voting for Narendra Modi in a state election, they're voting for the chief minister. And therefore, that is the touchstone on which they will have to judge their priorities and their options.
Recent surveys have shown that Prime Minister Modi continues to remain very, very popular. There is no other leader who's even close to his popularity rating. But I don't think the question is whether he's popular or not. The question is whether he can still win BJP elections. And I think on that front, what we have seen, at least in state level, while Modi's image matters, he alone or his image alone is not sufficient for BJP to win.
In Telangana, it's a three-way contest. Ruling Bharat Rashtriya Samiti has declared parties candidates for 115 of the state's total 119 assembly constituencies. Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao too has hit the campaign trail. BJP and Congress are yet to declare candidates. While in Mizoram, it's a two-way fight between MNF and ZPM, with Congress and BJP trying to catch up. A recent survey done by C Voter suggested a close contest between the BJP and Congress in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. It predicted that BJP will have a comfortable win in Rajasthan and gave an edge to Congress in Telangana. But several surveys have missed targets in the past. Opposition parties, meanwhile, are trying to get their acts together. Recently formed India Alliance strategy is to minimize competition within each constituency, creating a one-on-one contest with all opposition parties rallying behind the candidate with the best odds of defeating the BJP in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. After Nitish Kumar, Rahul Gandhi too is batting for more rights for OBC and a caste census. And in the upcoming 2024 election, Modi faces a unique challenge: the weight of incumbency. After Nehru and Manmohan Singh, Modi is the third Prime Minister who has completed 10 years as PM. So, will the outcome of state elections reveal the winning formula for the general election?
We have seen in the last 10 years or so that it is not entirely accurate to extrapolate the outcome of state elections on the Lok Sabha elections. The reasons are that one, people's priorities while voting in the Lok Sabha are different from voting in state elections. I'll give you an example. The last round of elections in 2019 for the Odisha State Assembly and general elections led to a diametrically opposite result in the outcome. For instance, I mean, at that time, the Odisha State Assembly elections, people voted for the BJD, which is still in power, and they voted overwhelmingly for the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections. So this tells us that people are thinking differently in Lok Sabha and Assembly, even though the election may be held together.
The tug of war between Modi's charisma and regional stalwarts, coupled with the performance of welfare schemes, will shape the narrative leading up to the Lok Sabha elections. As the 2023 state polls unfold, they offer a window into the ever-evolving puzzle of Indian politics, shedding some light on the potential winning formula for 2024. But some say that a week is a long time in politics.
These state polls will indeed test brand Modi's popularity. Moving on, PM Modi met the contingent of Indian athletes who have returned with a historic haul of 107 medals from the Asian Games held in China recently. In today's special segment, Tariq Ahmed takes a look at the ecosystem which is increasingly churning out such players. And what next for these athletes? How will their lives change after this good show? Let us listen in. India won a record 107 medals at the Hangzhou Asian Games and finished at the 4th position in the medal tally to bring home the record 28 gold, 38 silver and 41 bronze medals. India sent 655 athletes to China to compete in 41 disciplines this year. And in this pursuit, Indian athletes broke several World, Asian Games and national records, especially in shooting, where India won 7 gold medals. 4 of them marked a new world record and 1 set a new Asian Games record. Athletics turned out to be the most rewarding sport for India at the Asian Games 2023 with a total of 29 medals. Athletes broke 3 national records at the track and field. Vidya Ramraj, who clinched the bronze medal, equaled PT Usha's national record in the women's 400-meter hurdles after nearly 4 decades. Avinash Sable, the gold medalist in 3,000-meter steeplechase, Parul Chaudhary in the women's 5,000-meter event, and Anu Rani in women's javelin throw achieved new milestones in Indian athletics. Sanjana Batula, who won the bronze in speed skating 3,000-meter relay, became the youngest Asian Games medal winner at 15. So how is this impressive performance going to change the course of these athletes' careers and life? Medals and accolades often translate into financial rewards by governments, attract brand endorsements, and investment in sports infrastructure. But Sumit Sinha of Alchemist Brand Consulting believes recognition and opportunities don't come easy for Indian athletes despite making a mark at international platforms.
The truth is that 1 week from now, nobody will remember their names. They will just go down as a footnote. Obviously, the possibility of actually landing lucrative sponsorships from brands is close to zero.
The Haryana government has announced a prize of 3 crore rupees for Asian Games gold medalists, 1.5 crore rupees for silver medalists, 75 lakh rupees for bronze medalists, and 7.5 lakh rupees for all athletes who participated in the recently concluded Asian Games. The governments of UP and Assam also have announced prize money and job opportunities for the Asian Games medalists from their respective states. Government expenditure on sports has been increasing over the years, but corporate interests remain low.
The best that they can hope for is to be able to get jobs, on the strength of their performance and on the strength of the fact that they've earned medals for the country, jobs in the government or the public sector. We've had so few successes at the Olympic level, especially when it comes to individual sports, that anybody who's won even a bronze medal, be it like PV Sindhu won a silver, or Raghavendra Rathore in shooting, or you take the case of Neeraj Chopra. Those will be exceptions. The reason I think Neeraj Chopra is more likely, to get sponsorship deals is, because he's young, he's good looking, and of course, his performance has been quite consistent, and he's won a gold medal in the Olympics.
Part of the credit for India's medal tally at Asian Games 2023 goes to the government's Target Olympic Podium Scheme, or TOPS, Khelo India program, and support from India Inc. India has already allocated 450 crore rupees for the current Olympic cycle, and more than 3,000 athletes are supported under Khelo India programs. 125 athletes from Khelo India programs participated at the recently concluded Asian Games and won more than 40 medals. The medal tally was also backed by corporate houses like Reliance Industries, JSW, Tata, and Adani Group that supported young talents with sponsorships, scholarships, training, and preparation for the world stage. Athletes supported by the JSW Group won 17 medals, and 12 medals came from the athletes supported by the Reliance Foundation. Consider Lavlina Borgohain, the bronze medal winner in women's 75 kg boxing at Tokyo Olympics. Her brand value reportedly increased after winning a silver medal in the Asian Games 2023.
Before Olympics, Lavlina only had one sponsor. After winning Olympic medal, we have signed up Sham Steel, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, and there were a couple of short-term associations as well, which we did for Lavlina with the EdTech brands and a lot of other brands. Recently, we have signed up with Royal Enfield. We recently did one small association for Lavlina with Hyundai as well. And right now, after the Asian Games, we are getting a lot of queries for Lavlina, and she is also the world champion.
Brand endorsements are not as prevalent for Asian Games medalists compared to Olympic medalists and Indian cricketers. But Asian Games medalists sure have prospects of securing government jobs and access to better sports facilities. Experts say the Asian Games performance serves as an inspiration for young athletes in a country where sports is often overshadowed by academic expectations. After sports, let us turn our gaze to financial markets. Primary markets have seen a good participation from the retail investors even as the funds raised by India Inc. via the IPO route dipped in 2023 as compared to the previous corresponding period. Can the headwinds such as firm bond yields and hawkish stance of central banks dent retail investors' enthusiasm? Puneet Wadhwa gets us the answers in this next report.
Retail investors have been flocking to the primary markets in droves, with the average number of applications from them rising 32.36% year on year in the first half of FY24. According to a recent note by Prime Database, a leading data provider on the Indian capital markets, retail applications jumped to 10.02 lakh in H1 FY24 compared to 7.57 lakh applications in H1 FY23. Notably, this came at a time when the number of initial public offers was lower than the period as against last year. About 31 Indian corporates have raised 26,300 crore rupees through main board IPOs in the first half of 2023-24, down 26% from 35,456 crore rupees mobilized by 14 IPOs in the same period in 2022-23. The highest number of applications from the retail category was received by IdeaForge, followed by Aeroflex and SBFC Finance. So what's behind the surge in retail applications? According to Pranav Haldia of Prime Database, IPO response was buoyed by strong listing performance. Average listing gains based on closing price on listing date increased to 29.44% in comparison to 11.56% in the first half of 2022-23. Of the 28 IPOs which have got listed thus far, 20 have return of over 10%. Of these, IdeaForge and Utkarsh Small Finance Bank gave a stupendous return of over 90% each, while NetWeb Technologies delivered listing pop of 82%. That said, will the fundraising plans via the IPO route of companies take a backseat amid secondary market volatility and a busy election calendar over the next few months?
The IPO euphoria remains as long as you're making money. Once the secondary market corrects and those investing in IPOs start seeing a listing below the issue price, the demand automatically dwindles. We have seen this happening many times earlier, especially when a large fancied IPO fails. But this time, the action seems to be more on the SME IPO side, where we are witnessing a number of issues coming every week. In fact, the last 2 months we have seen, I think, more than 50 SME issues. I don't know as to how many of them will actually survive over the next 4 or 5 years. But as long as you're making money, make hay where the sun shines.
Haldia, however, believes the next 4-5 months will likely see several IPOs being launched before a pause on account of the general elections. Overall, the IPO pipeline for now remains strong with 28 companies that hold SEBI approval planning to raise 38,000 crore rupees. Another 41 companies are looking to raise nearly 44,000 crore rupees and are awaiting approval from the market regulator. Over the next few days, markets will focus on corporate earnings for the September quarter along with how the global markets play out.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
Let us now turn our focus back to the sports theme. Indian wrestlers recently participated as neutral athletes at the Wrestling World Championship. But ever wondered what neutral athletes are? Abhijit Kumar explains.
In 2015, the Russian Athletics Federation was banned after the discovery of state-sponsored doping. 2 years later, in 2017, the International Olympic Committee, or IOC, suspended the Russian Olympic Committee over similar charges. But back then, the IOC had created a path for individuals to compete as neutral athletes. The country's athletes took part in the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea as neutral athletes. Neutral athletes are individuals or teams that participate in international sporting events without officially representing their country. They compete under the Olympic flag, and the Olympic anthem plays at any ceremony instead of their country's anthem. The International Olympic Committee, in its recently updated Q&A, said that it promotes the participation of every athlete who accepts the rules, respects the Olympic Charter, and has qualified on the field of play. Political disputes or conflicts too lead to this situation, but this arrangement prevents athletes from becoming victims of such disputes. For example, Ukrainian athletes had refused to compete against Russia in the upcoming Paris Olympics. It was only after the Russian athletes were granted neutral athlete status that the country didn't boycott the event. The IOC has laid down strict rules regarding the participation of neutral athletes. It says that athletes with Russian or Belarusian nationality can participate only as individual athletes without their nation's flag or anthem. It says that Russian and Belarusian teams will not be allowed to participate, as well as individual athletes who support the war will also be barred from participating in sporting events. Another significant reason for athletes being designated as neutral is their country's violation of anti-doping regulations. When a nation is found to have engaged in systematic or widespread doping practices, their athletes may be ineligible to compete under their national flag. Instead, they are required to demonstrate their clean record and compete neutrally.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
But despite the WFI suspension, Indian wrestlers participated under the national flag at the Asian Games as entries were sent by the Indian Olympic Association and not the WFI. Well, that's all we have for you today. For more news and analysis, please log on to business-standard.com. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.